what we're starting to see here is some serious players making deals behind the scenes, which is exactly what we're talking about in this video that we have found actually prosper. Let's share this clip. This is Brad Garlinghouse having 15 executives from JP Morgan in his office. Now, before we get into that, I want to explain this, guys. This isn't a meeting in a little rink-a-dink office. This is a boardroom with 15 executives at the table from JP Morgan. And I want you guys to listen to Brad explain the role of JP Morgan and why Jamie Dimon spoke down on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space overall. At the same time, he sends 15 executives over to meet with Ripple in Brad's office. But Brad and team, not only are they renting out a few floors in that building they were at, that they're currently still at, they've now rented out the whole damn building. Don't forget that. As we go into a recession, a crypto bear market, they are now renting out the whole damn building. And we go back years and they've been welcoming 15 executives from JP Morgan into their boardroom. And we have the best guy right here in Brad Garlinghouse to represent this company, represent this mission. And you guys are seeing him speak out right here. Let's play this clip for you guys. Let's check out what Brad Garlinghouse has to say here.
When we talk about Jamie Dimon, we first have to recognize where he sits. He sits at the top of the global financial infrastructure. There are a few banks, of which JPM is certainly one, that make billions and billions of dollars of profit by virtue of that perch. 99.9% of banks don't make money in this ecosystem in terms of cross-border payments. Jamie Dimon makes a technical term of a shit ton of money by sitting there. So when I hear Jamie Dimon saying it's a fraud, I think to myself, well, of course he's going to say that. He's talking. I mean, and by the way, there's also people who conspiratorially, he's trying to talk down the price of Bitcoin so JPM can buy it. Like the idea that JP Morgan isn't actively working in the blockchain and Bitcoin space is not true. Frankly, I don't mind sharing. There are about 15 senior JP Morgan people at Ripple's offices this afternoon. Now, unless JP Morgan's going to fire them.
Does JP Dimon know that?
Apparently not. Anyway, so look, that's my thought on the whole JP Dimon thing. I do think there are people who are going to say this is, in the same manner, a very smart investor said to me, in 1997, the whole West Coast was long Amazon and the whole East Coast was shorting Amazon. We saw how that worked out. And his point was basically, look, the West Coast is obviously bullish and, there's some that are very cynical about these things and, we'll see how it works out. On the risk factor, just very briefly, because I don't want to go on too long, but I think what we have to remind ourselves that this has to come back to utility. What problem is the digital asset solving? If it's solving a real problem and it's creating value by solving that problem, then there will be value in the token. I think what's risky is there's a lot of these things, as Juan was saying, that I cannot explain why you need a token. I can't explain what the token does. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I think, unfortunately, I think that percentage, particularly in the recent ICO wave, I think that percentage is a very high percentage. I think there is going to be carnage to be had from that. And I think Grant is smarter than I am in many ways, not the least of which is on the law. But, the ICOs, regulation around the SEC regulation around securities are designed to protect investors and.
Right, so it cuts off there a little bit short, but huge shout out to Ashley Prosper for actually being able to pull back up this clip. She says that she's going to be getting the full video, so she's going to be sharing this full speech here with Brad. But as you guys can see, Ripple has not been messing around. And like he says, there's a reason why he was able to get up so confidently and say that 99% of cryptos are going to be going away. Brad Garlinghouse knows it's all based off utility, and he's been sitting at the table with all the people that matter in the whole damn world. This is no joke. Anders says, look at the obvious. Go through the keynote speakers at Swell. Now, at first, I thought he was talking about the speakers at the Swell conference that's going to be taking place in November this year, this current Swell conference that's just coming up. But he was actually talking about the older ones, specifically Ben Bernanke, Sheila Warren, Bill Clinton, representatives from the ECB, Federal Reserve, World Bank, and many more that, we don't even know about that are unnamed. Once again, guys, we just want to reiterate, this has all been taking place years ago.